This program is based on, Allie at the library showed me this, because the new thinking, the latest thinking on passwords is longer. 16 is the new 8, is what I say. 8 used to be what we did, and people would do very complex passwords, but longer is better. But if you have a 16 character password that's all scrambled, can you remember it? No. So we have a random word generator, which Allie said, oh, and I thought, well, I've been using this. This automatically gives you 3 words that have nothing to do with anything, which is good. Compact braid master. I mean, none of those mean anything to me at all. They're just 3 random words. You don't like those, generate some more. It seems 3 gives you a good length. So if I do gradient pay office, that's like totally meaningless. And then you can take it and just do a little bit with it. So we put these in. Oops, wrong one. I got to copy them. There may be a copy button. I don't know where it is. There we go. So I could do this, and maybe I'll capitalize G, and maybe I'll put a 1 at the end of it, and maybe I'll put a $sign in here, or just even that. If you take that to a website where you can test how good it is, you'll find it'll take a gazillion years to guess this password because it doesn't mean anything. And how hackers, and I can't remember if we've done one of those yet or not. I don't know if we've done a dictionary attack, but we will do one if we haven't. So what hackers use is dictionaries of previously hacked passwords. And these things are available all over the internet. So they do a password dump and then they release it. After the course, they made a bunch of money selling it or whatever, then they release them out into the web. So is this combination going to be anywhere in any of those password dumps? These are random English words just put together with totally random. Oh man, it's just totally unlikely, especially if you go up to 16 characters. The more characters you have, the longer it takes, because if you can't do a dictionary attack, you have to do brute force, which means trying every possible combination, which would take the rest of your life. So what have you done? You have made it hard enough that they're not going to bother with you. They're going to go to somebody like Andy who uses his first name for his password. Then they got it.
My first name for my password.
Okay, I'm just using you as an example, Andy.
I know.
So we do a password. You go to a password strength checker. We have to spell strength right. And there it is. I think this now goes somewhere else. I don't know. This is one I've never used Password Monster. Let me find it. How secure is my password? I've used that one before. So it would take about how long? And this is brute force. They're saying if you had to brute force it. But there are also dictionaries that have millions of characters in it, millions of real passwords people have used. So if you get a password dump from a bank, what are the odds that that person has used that same password everywhere? Is that the odds pretty good? Oh yeah. Yep. Because we all have so many passwords. Even I have some duplicate passwords here and there, and I only have it in websites I really don't care about. If somebody hacks into my Reddit account, what do I care? Well, it does have a good password. Anyway, that's where the idea for this program came from. So to start with, we have a word list. From the random library, we've imported the choices. So if we do choices, we give it a word list. I want 3 words, right? I want 3 of these, and I get a random word. I get 3 of them. And then I'm going to capitalize the first letter of each word just because that's a way to change it. Word.title. Title is a string method that converts the first character to uppercase. It's called title cased or proper cased. I store that because this returns the capitalization. I store that in here and print it out. And then I'm concatenating together, so I have one password. So if I run that, I end up with not a terrific password, but olive fling purple is exactly 16 characters. So right there with my simple little program, because it's going to randomly change those 6 words into different spaces, I've got a fairly decent password. There's only so many combinations you can come up with. So then the next step is let's get a little more complicated. Who doesn't like to get complicated? I do. It's more interesting. So where's my next one? There it is. My next one, I'm going to use a list of words. And in the assignment, I have the list of words that I'm using. There's lists of words that are way bigger. I just picked this one. This has the 5,000 word list and a little Py program I wrote to read a text file into a list in Python, which is kind of above our pay grade a little bit. So I have my 5,000 word list here. I also got some other ones, but these are 5,000 words in the English language. These are just like regular words. If I want to have 10,000 words, I could do 10,000 words. You know, just depends on how many you want to have, whether it's 10,000 or 5,000, it really runs the same way. So I think I will put in the 10,000 word list. And how did I find this? Mr. Google. I just Googled and said English word lists, and then I found several of them. Read to list is a little program. There it is. This little program that opens up a file, reads each word, and puts it into a list. So I'm not going to go through that. That's just like a little helper library. So now I've got 10,000 words. Do the same thing. What are the odds that every time I run this program, I'm going to get a different password?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, especially out of 10,000. And you can get bigger lists than that too. Uh-oh. I must have typed it in wrong. Word list underscore, world list. I misspelled it. We don't have a world list. We have a word list. There. Goodness gracious. Spelling has to be right. Oh, now I have invalid syntax. Oh, I must have I was accidentally typing while I was talking. All right, now we're fixed. 1,001, 10,001. Lawsuit, blogger, traditional. Can you remember 3 words that mean nothing?
Can you do that? You can also add like a number and a character to that too, right?
Yeah, and I think I just did the next one. I just added some numbers or
Oh,
something. I randomly did a number. I did something. Where is it? I can say how many words. Oh, maybe I didn't add it in. Maybe I did that on the last one. Oh, random characters. I created a list of characters that are not part of the alphabet library, and then I did numbers. And so from these lists, I just had it pick a random word. I had to pick a random character from each one, and I could have picked a random place to insert it, which I didn't. But then we end up with, how many words do I want? 3 seems to be about right to end up with, oh my goodness. See, I have I put it at the end, and it can either be a number or it would be just a weird character. But I could have gone further with this. This is just as far as I went. But in this case, these words are, so the next time I do 3 words, I will probably not end up, because the odds are 1 out of 10,000 each time. So if I do 3, this time it's 18. See, oh, here I have a weird character in the front, don't I? That's a pipe symbol. Some systems will not take passwords that long if they're older systems. Some systems don't like funny characters. With Microsoft stuff, it's fine. You can put in whatever you want. Like right now, my password right now is 16, and I think I only have a number in it. I have 2 or 3 numbers, but I've had funky characters, but this time I just put in some numbers. But I use the random word generator on the web to do that because they probably have a bigger dictionary, a word list. And this is my 10,000 word list. No, I used the 5,000 word list, which is probably fine. I mean, How many words are there in the English language? I have no idea. That would be another Google question. So anyway, that was a fun one because you now have your own password generator program. It allows us to talk about what makes a good password. And if you add in random characters or a random character into words that mean nothing to you, you end up with a password no one's going to be able to hack. You have lowered the chances of your password ever being hacked. Let's put it that way, because there is no such thing as never in cybersecurity. If somebody really wants to get to your stuff, you're done. But this makes it way more difficult. Oh, see, that means nothing. I don't have a daughter. I'm addicted only to chocolate, and I've never been to Africa, so that means nothing to me. 25. These are longer words than the other one did. Let's generate another one. Let's try 2. Yeah, 15 is a good amount.
And it always adds dash before.
And I could have randomized it. I just chose to do this because it was simple, a demonstration. But I could randomize where it put it too.
Yeah.
I could have it put it in between the words.
Mhm. Or in the
It makes it
middle.
more difficult to remember the password if you put it in the words. But if you put it like this, it's still 15 and it'll take gazillion years to do it. So is it a compromise of ease of use and a good password? Yeah. But I can remember passwords like this with, a couple of times around and I'm done. I can remember it. The problem becomes everybody has like 85,000 different systems they have passwords in. So then what do? You write them down on a piece of paper and stick it underneath your keyboard or sticky note on your monitor. Those are 2 popular places.
Password vault.
Yeah. Use a password manager of some sort. Otherwise, it's just impossible. And you don't want to write them down. You need it someplace where it's stored encrypted. It's encrypted storage. So yes, unless you're a Luddite and you have no passwords in anything, which a Luddite is someone who does not believe in or use technology, you got to do something with passwords. All right.